Hello and welcome to the improved stage of the impact cycle. After we have a clear picture of reality, have a set peers goal, and have identified strategies that we believe will get us to reach the goal, we are now ready to enter the last phase of the impact cycle, improve. The improve stage is where ideas turn into action and improvement is either happening or not. It may be the most challenging stage of coaching since it demands a high level of imaginative brain power from both the teacher and the coach. So let's get into it. In this video, we will review the improve stage and cover the 4 steps. The 4 steps are confirm direction, review progress, invent improvements, and plan next action. During the improve stage, the coach and the teacher move through the 4 steps. Through all 4 steps of the improve stage, coach and teacher conversations will focus on one question. Did we hit the goal? How a coach and teacher move forward is determined by the answer to that question. So if yes, do you want to continue to refine your use of the practice, choose a new goal, or take a break? And if no, do you want to change the goal? Change the way you measure the goal. Stick with the strategy as it is, revisit how you teach the new strategy, or choose a new strategy. To ensure that you and the collaborating teacher are on the same page, each conversation should start by asking the teacher about their most pressing concerns. This is vital during the improve stage because we know that teachers are busy people doing complex work, especially now in an educational environment that may not be used to. Asking these 2 questions will help confirm the direction and progress of the goal. The first question, given the time we have today, what's the most important thing for us to talk about? It's a simple way to ensure teachers that they have equal status in the coaching conversation and that the coaching is for them and the students, not about the coach. It also ensures that the conversation will address any issue that may be on the teacher's mind. The second question is open. What's on your mind? It is an invitation to tell you anything and everything and helps people to share what's most important to them. These questions will help lead you into the second step of the improve stage, review progress. During the improve stage, the coach and teacher gather data for 2 reasons: to assess how close a teacher's students have gotten to the goal and to measure how the teacher is implementing the new strategy. Data is important because it reveals how close students and teachers have progressed towards the goal. When goals have been met, the teacher and coach can plan next actions. When the goal has not been met, these questions on the slide are helpful to moving forward. The first question, what has gone well, is beginning the conversation with a success. Even if the goal has not been reached, teachers need to be reminded of success they may have experienced while implementing a new strategy. The second question is open. What did you learn? This question allows for reflection on the process you both have been experiencing through the coaching experience. The last question, what roadblocks are you running into, is an opportunity to talk through what is keeping the teacher and students from reaching the goal. Sometimes you may need to reframe the conversation by narrowing the focus away from complaint to commitment. For example, if a teacher states the biggest roadblock is the students don't care at all about learning, you may want to ask, what would it look like if your students cared about learning? And then after the teacher has answered, what could we do that might move the students in that direction? Remember, we as coaches are trying to guide the teacher and help them be in the driver's seat of the implementation and change. Jim Knight has stated that this part of the improve stage, invent improvements, is the heart of the impact cycle. This is where you and the teacher must work through the roadblocks or barriers that impede meeting the goal and discover what is needed to reach the destination. The reality of improvement is that teachers don't usually hit their goal after one attempt of a new strategy, and that's okay. Both of you may have to step out of your comfort zones and look at the classroom and student learning from multiple perspectives to invent improvements. Often the coach's job is to help teachers learn and implement teaching strategies while at the same time resisting temptation to tell teachers what to do and resist giving unsolicited advice. When instructional coaches embrace a dialogical stance, they let go of the need to be right to do what's right. That means coaches position their collaborating teacher as the decision maker, offering suggestions only when necessary, and then sharing strategies, asking teachers what and when they would like to modify them. To help begin the dialogical approach, you can start by asking these questions that foster inquiry. Do you want to keep using the strategy as is? Sometimes you may have identified a great goal and strategy that should move the class to the goal. The teacher may be tempted to change the strategy when there is no progress, but sometimes the best plan is to wait for the strategy to start to have an impact. Some strategies take a while to have impact. Do you want to revisit how you use the strategy? During the learn stage, the coach and the teacher determine how a strategy will be used. Once it is used, it is clear that adaptations need to be made. The coach and the teacher can revisit. You can determine this after watching the video lesson or after assessment. The strategy also needs to be accessible to students. You may need to make modifications to the materials and how students access the content. Do you want to choose a new strategy? It is difficult to determine how a strategy will work until it's in implementation. Sometimes a strategy misses the mark and a decision is made to change the new learning strategy. If so, you'll need to repeat most of the learn stage. Once a new strategy is determined, the teacher will have to adapt it to meet the needs of all students. Do you want to change how you measure progress towards the goal? Remember that the strategy that is used to measure the goal is just as important as the learning strategy. An effective measure should be valid, meaning that it measures what it's supposed to and it is reliable. Do you want to change the goal? Once you watch the video and make changes in the learning environment, you both may realize that the goal needs to be changed. It depends on the conversation with the teacher on why the goal needs to be changed. The present goal could not be challenging or not challenging enough. Changing the goal is okay. Every person plans differently, but when it comes to coaching, it may be better to write things down and establish 3 things: the date and time of the next meeting, identify tasks to be done prior to the meeting, and estimate when the tasks will be completed and by whom. The coaching planning form used by Jim Knight is available in your reflection guide on page 104. When planning the next scheduled meeting, you don't want to make it too far out. Meeting within 1 week maintains focus and fast response when strategies are not successful. When discussing tasks to be done, make sure that the teacher is guided by you and they determine when each task will be completed. You will then document the who and when. Before concluding the meeting, you should get a pulse on where the collaborating teacher is as the goals and strategies are changing. When a teacher's commitment drops, and you and the teacher should explore whether you're headed in the right direction and if there is something that needs to change before the start of the impact cycle again. Your next steps after watching this video is to answer the 2 discussion questions in Schoology. There is also a page with your next steps for you to do before you enter day 4. Let us know if you have any questions.